The second arc of Hunter x Hunter, the Zoldyck Family arc, may not seem too important when it comes to the friendship between Gon and Killua because they have no interactions until the conclusion of the arc. However, the focus here is actually the characters' thoughts about each other and how their interactions with other characters reflect on their feelings. During the Hunter exam, I talked a lot more about how Killua felt towards Gon, but now we'll shift over to Gon's investment in this relationship and how he must earn the right to be friends with Killua. When our heroes reach the gate at Gekidou Mountain, we're introduced to Zebro, the gatekeeper or glorified janitor. We see a group of thugs threaten Zebro, who lets them through the side door, only for them to be eaten by the Zoldyck's giant guard dog, Mike. Gon, accompanied by Leorio and Kurapika, decides to stick around to see if there is a way to get through the gates to see Killua. They chat with Zebro, who is happy to hear that Killua has friends, but informs them that this is as far as they'll go. Zebro is testing them, which is a theme in this arc. Little by little, we see just how much the staff that serves the Zoldyck family cares about Killua, whether they like to admit it or not. Similar to how the Zoldicks acknowledge Killua's great potential, the staff have taken a liking to him in a way we don't see with Killua's siblings. The series of tests are obviously meant to evaluate a person's strength, but personality ends up going a long way as well. Because of Killua's standing in the Zoldyck family as heir to the business, the family and butlers wouldn't want him to associate with someone who is weak that could put him in danger, but honesty, intelligence, and loyalty are also valuable traits because of the family's secretive lifestyle and the price on their heads. The first of these tests comes from Zebro. Zebro explains some details of the testing gate and the decoy's side door during his discussion with Kurapika, and Kurapika fills in the blanks, passing Zebro's first test. Gon doesn't like the idea of the testing gate, so he asks for the key to the side door, knowing he'll have to face off with Mike. Zebro tries to help out by calling the mansion and speaking to Goto to see if he can let them in, but is denied. Even Gon speaking to Goto does no good. When Gon tries to scale the gate using his fishing rod, Zebro, who has taken a liking to Gon, pleads with him to just use the side door with Zebro accompanying him because he couldn't face Killua if he let Mike eat one of his friends. Gon is apologetic for not realizing the predicament he put Zebro in, which triggers Zebro to start taking notes on Gon in his internal monologue, pointing out Gon's passion and trust in his friends and how they give him confidence. He's measuring Gon's worth as a friend to Killua. Realizing Gon isn't afraid to face Mike, he makes several accurate assumptions about how Gon grew up in the wild and loves animals. He sees the potential of a great hunter in Gon, and decides to test them once again by escorting them through the testing gate to meet Mike. The moment Gon meets Mike is the most influential and important factor in Gon's resolve to rescue Killua. As Zebro explains, just a brief look into Mike's eyes made Gon understand that he has no chance of communicating with the beast. Mike is a living machine. He is the embodiment of what Illumi wishes for Killua to become. But Gon has seen that Killua is more than just an assassin, more than just a tool, and their discussion on the blimp is still fresh in his mind. He notes the look in Mike's eyes and admits how it frightens him. Zebro admires Gon's honesty, which lets them pass the second test. So Zebro leads the group to the servants' quarters where they'll train and build their strength to open the testing gates. One page later in the manga, our reference, and they've passed the third test and are now ready to continue towards the mansion. The next obstacle in their way is Kanari. This isn't so much as a test as it is a demonstration of the experience Gon had just gained from encountering Mike. When he mentions wanting to see Killua, he's able to see right through Kanari's emotionless facade. Her words before being struck down by Kikyo, "You must help Master Killua," serve to strengthen Gon's resolve. We flash over to Killua for a bit, but his scenes are pretty much straightforward. He's clearly protective of his friends when Miluki threatens to order the butlers to eliminate them, and the discussion Killua has with his father makes it clear just how much fun he had with Gon. So he makes a promise to his father that he'll never betray his friends and leaves the mansion to meet up with Gon. Back to Gon. Kanari leads them to the butler's quarters, where they finally meet with Goto face to face. The coin game that Goto proposes is the final test for Gon, Kurapika, and Leorio. Goto feels a great deal of responsibility towards Killua's well-being, and puts the pressure on the group by expressing how he disapproves of them taking him away. It's hard to say just how serious Goto is when threatening to kick them out if they lose, but I'm inclined to say that he was serious, even if he says he got carried away by the end of it. He even tries to deny having an emotional attachment to Killua when Gon asks if he'll miss him, but Gon once again can see right through the butler's act. It's even more clear just how much Goto cares when he tests Gon one final time with the coin, intentionally deceiving him to teach him a valuable lesson. The reunion between Gon and Killua is heartwarming. Killua calls out to Gon before even entering the butler's quarters, and Gon calls back to him. When Killua walks in, it's clear that he's most excited to see Gon. He was told by Miluki that there were 3 people who came to see him, but he's still a bit surprised to see Kurapika and Leorio, a testament to how much more he values his friendship with Gon. So they leave the mansion, and all begin to discuss their future plans. Killua immediately assumes his big brother role again, and is more comfortable being blunt with Gon when he doesn't understand Gon's way of thinking. We got a glimpse of this back on the blimp when Killua scolded Gon for wanting to continue his challenge with Netero when Killua was ready to quit. This side of him starts to emerge when asking Gon why he refuses to use his hunter license, followed by teasing him for not knowing where to find Hisoka, and lastly his full-on outburst when Gon doesn't understand the point of training before confronting Hisoka. Killua is beginning to realize just how dim-witted Gon can be, which he mentioned during his discussion with Silva, and going forward we'll see Killua call out Gon for this pretty often. Continuing his role as mentor, Killua gives Gon a lesson in his current strength compared to Hisoka and Hanzo, before suggesting they head to Heaven's Arena for a quick cash grab and some training. Now before I conclude this video, there's one last thing I want to point out, and that's Killua's words to Gon before leaving the mansion. "Let's go, I don't care where." The words didn't mean much in the moment, other than Killua didn't want to stick around with his family, he just had to get out of there. However, we know that there will come a time when Killua starts to reflect on his time with Gon and wonders if it is okay if he continues to tag along without his own purpose. At this point in the story though, he's just happy to be with his friend. His suggestion to go to Heaven's Arena is crucial to both characters' development, and without it, who knows what would have happened to them in York New City. From a narrative perspective, it's interesting to think about who is pushing this narrative forward. Gon is the one with the dream of finding his father, but Killua helps make it all possible. Gon was able to get stronger because he wanted to rescue Killua from his family, and he'll get even stronger because of Killua's suggestion to go to Heaven's Arena. So before we get to the point where Killua starts to question his purpose and his own importance in Gon's journey, I'll continue to point out important moments like this where Killua is the one driving not only the narrative, but Gon's development as well. And that's going to do it for Shinyuu Part 4. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Follow me on Twitter if you're interested in seeing updates on my video progress or ideas I'm working on, and subscribe if you haven't already because there is plenty more to come. Thank you all again for your support, and I will see you all very soon.